Hi, Amanda. She says she is from Little Dumplings Educare. How cute's that? And Vanessa's from Cotland. So welcome. Good afternoon. And hello to Bridget from Brooklyn's Special Friends Foundation, Lavender Hill, around the corner from me. And oh, there's someone from Pretoria, Daddy Daycare. And Yolanda is from Klein Wysmusie Kleuterschool. These are the best names ever. Welcome everybody. Today we are discussing how to build a motivated team that's going to help you deliver quality education at your ECD center. We know that your team and the people who work at your center are so crucial to you sleeping well at night, let's face it. So we have a great topic, and joining me today is Lindsay van Niekerk and Ati Diompana, both colleagues who work at Grow, but crucially also both are principals or owners of ECD centers. Both of them have had their sleepless nights, I'm sure, in running their preschools. They have great experience to share with us today. So welcome everybody. Put your name in the chat. Let us know where you're from. And feel free to let us know in the chat if you have any questions. I'll look on my phone every now and then to see what chats are coming through. Remember, the meeting is being recorded. So if you miss anything, we will share the recording with you afterwards, as well as the slides. Get going. So welcome everybody. We are talking about building a motivated team. On so many of the Facebook groups, the WhatsApp groups, I see people asking about how they keep their team dedicated, motivated. I think we're going to start off this session. I want to hear from you. What are the top 3 qualities, the top 3 most desirable qualities you would like to see in your ECD team? So if you look on your screen right now, there's going to be a poll and a few options of what you think the top 3 qualities are that you want to see in your team. You can only choose 3. So have a look and let me know. Is it a positive and supportive culture? Do you want your team members to make a contribution? Do you want people to take their jobs seriously? Or everyone working towards a shared goal, a shared vision? What is it that you'd like to see? Respect, perhaps, for each other. Planning and preparation for the weekly themes. A team you can trust. Or do you want a team that puts children's safety and development as their top priority? Let us know. Ooh, lots of results are coming in. 30 people have already voted. Have a look at your phone right now. Let us know which one is your top 3. And we'll do our best to cover those today. So the question is, what are the top 3 most desirable qualities you'd love to see at your ECD center, in your team? I'm going to give you 10 more seconds, then I'm closing the poll. Interesting results. Interesting results are coming through. It's 2 more seconds. I'm going to end the poll and share the results with you. Let's see. You look on your screen now. It should share. Is it sharing? It does not look like that. Ati, can you see the results on your side?
I can see. It says everyone working. The highest one is everyone working towards a shared goal or vision. And then
incredible. I see that, yes. And I think so 57% of people are saying they'd love their team to work towards a shared vision and a shared goal. Well, if that is what you're looking for, we're going to talk about that almost from the start of this webinar. 54% of people are saying they want children's safety and development to be their team's top priority. That's exactly what we want. We want our customers, the children, to be our top priority and their development. And finally, it looks like number 3 is a supportive and positive culture. It's definitely what I want as well from our workplace. So we're going to talk about culture today as well, and what you can do as the leadership of your ECD center to build that positive and supportive culture as well. So let's see, what are we covering today? It's going to be a very productive, maximum 1 hour. We'll keep it short and practical. The process of developing your motivated team starts with setting the end in mind, the vision and the shared goal. Exactly the number one thing that all of you said is your top priority. So we'll talk about that. Number 2, we'll talk about recruitment and recruiting the right people, then managing your team, motivating your team, professional development, and finally, how Grow can help you specifically. So we're going to cover each of these sections, and with the help of Lindsay and Ati, who have a wealth of experience and practical experience in this regard, as well as being education mentors for many ECD centers, we'll share a lot of practical tips and ideas. So let me share a picture with you. For this webinar, I want you to imagine that running your ECD center and managing your team, building that motivated team, it's almost like climbing a mountain. It's crucial you are the leader of this climbing party, and you need to go and find the right mountain to climb, set the right vision, then get the right people to join you on that vision. So you need your plan for your center, your vision for your center is almost like climbing a really high mountain so that you can get to the top and have the best view, best picnic in the world. So with this idea in mind, we're going to use the analogy of climbing a mountain as the theme throughout the webinar. Now, let's face it, it all starts with leadership and it starts with vision. And when you start off on the journey, you don't want to climb the wrong mountain. You're going to get to the top of the wrong mountain. That's also not success. So it starts with choosing what the best mountain is to climb. It means starting with the end in mind. So before you start thinking about your team and how you're going to develop them, reflect on yourself and ask yourself, do you have a very clear vision of your center? And does everyone know what you are working towards? What is the mountain that you are climbing? What does great look like for your team? And if you've ever seen a vision statement, the best ones are the ones that are memorable, the ones that are visual. I think of Barack Obama that says, yes, we can. I mean, what an inspiring vision. Or when we all know the quote, I have a dream. You know, so we need to find something memorable and visual. And it's your job as the leader to keep repeating that vision. Never, ever get tired of what the top of that mountain looks like and what the vision is that you have in mind for your center. So I thought, let me give you an example. I don't run a preschool, but if I did, this is kind of how I would think about developing a vision for my center. So in one short sentence, something like, our center provides a nurturing and fun learning environment where every child thrives and learns through play. Now, that is like a mantra that I would want to repeat consistently. I'd want to have it on the front of my door of my office. I'd want it in the front of my diary. I'd want my whole team to know that this is the vision for the center. And whatever we do and create, I'd check, do these activities promote the vision that I have? And maybe yours is not about nurturing and fun environment. Maybe your vision and your passion is inclusivity, or creating values-driven culture, or developing children who are resilient. So think about the things that really make you passionate and that you believe you bring to the children and the team in your ECD center, and build a compelling vision statement around that. That is essentially the mountain that you want to climb. Okay. As the leader, you're not just leading the team. It's really the whole system that you are responsible for. I sometimes say you're the CEO, the Chief Everything Officer. And as the Chief Everything Officer, all things lead to you. And you need to ask yourself, this is a great way to ask yourself, how well are you doing in terms of your leadership for people, program, place, and process. So this slide is a great thing to reflect on in terms of how you are leading the people in your ecosystem, the program, whether it's the standards you're maintaining, curriculum implementation, training and learner assessment, the processes around your center, whether it's registration or reporting or your committee meetings, and the place, whether the building is compliant, safe, an emotionally safe environment, inclusive. So leadership really starts with us in the place of leadership, and culture also starts with you as the leader. All right, so now that we've chatted a little bit about setting the vision, and the fact that it's your responsibility to keep sharing and inspiring vision, that is the best place to start. Let's face it, you're not going to be climbing this mountain on your own. You want to bring along the right people in your team. So surround yourself with those people who are likely to improve you. Lindsay, I'm going to hand over to you because I'd love you to talk us through a little bit of the recruitment best practices and what you've seen and experienced and found to be great tips for recruiting the right people.
Good afternoon, everyone. So part of my job at Grow is also mentoring principals. And one of the biggest challenges is when the proper recruitment process was not followed. And so as a result, they have people who are working for them who are not, they don't have the correct qualifications, and a lot of things go wrong because you didn't start your recruitment process correctly. And so part of it is definitely taking your time with it, have clear job descriptions, roles and responsibilities. Make sure that they actually meet the minimum qualification requirements, because part of getting registered means that you do need to have qualified teachers. Then we've got, make sure that you look at their references, the experience, and then the minimum wage and the child-teacher ratios. You need to know all of those because that's going to determine how many teachers you are going to employ. And then, of course, just having a contract, having clear contracts for all your employees. And there were so many questions about, am I able to have probation? Yes. Probation is a probation period is completely legal. In fact, it's recommended because you may find that everything looks fine, but you just may not be a fit. And then one of the things about contracts is that even if, and just bear in mind, if there's no contract, the basic conditions of employment contract comes into play immediately. All right. So from the time that the person walks onto your premises, they and you are protected by the Basic Conditions of Employment Act. So the contract is so that you can adapt and change. It can't be less than the basic conditions of employment, but you may want to add a few different things in there. And or you may want to stipulate your probation period, because you can actually, it needs to be a fair probation period, but you may want 2 months instead of 3 months. So those are the kind of things that you as the employer can actually add in with a contract, And
Lindsay, I actually, that's such a great point that you're making here. I see Candice also has that question. So, so if I'm understanding you correctly, the basic conditions of employment is essentially the contract, even if you have signed no contract. But
yes.
It's better to have a detailed contract in place, because then you are stipulating the details and the nuances specifically for your ECD center, like taking leave and leave days or your probation period, things like that.
Yes.
I see Candice is asking, I see Candice is asking, how long can a probation period be, or how long should it be?
It has to be fair in that it has to be able to give the person an opportunity to change. Let's say you stipulate certain things and they are not meeting it. You need to be able to go to them and say, let's just chat about what I'm wanting. I'm wanting to see this happening. And then you have to give a timeline where you would like to see this happening. And so everything that you're asking has to be fair, and you have to be able to know what your intervention was, so that if at 2 months you decide that the person hasn't met the criteria, you can prove that you followed this intervention and that intervention. So
yes,
that's
yes. And I think that's probably why people normally have a 2, 3, 4 month kind of probation period. In fact, I see Melissa, thank you saying normally 3 to 6 months is a good probation period. And then crucially, I think what Lindsay is highlighting for us is if the job description asks you to do certain things, let's say planning and preparation for your weekly themes. And in the first 2 weeks, 3 weeks, you're seeing the person's not doing that, then you can have the discussions to say, this is what I'm expecting from you. That's what should be happening in the probation period, right? So that you can support people. But sorry, keep going. Tell us what else, what other tips do you have for us?
I have so many. What's on the next slide?
Okay, well, here's also, I'm checking, someone is asking, Dicoleti is asking a good question. She says, what's the minimum wage for ECD teachers? In fact, we have a slide on that. Tell us about minimum wage, Lindsay, and what we should know.
So understand that this is the minimum wage per hour. So you can actually determine how many hours you want your staff to work. It cannot be more than what the basic conditions of employment say, that it should be 8 hours per day. It can be less though. And so you are then paying someone per hour. Just bear that in mind, that it's not a set, this is the amount, 4,500, it is per hour.
Here's another great point that someone's making. So in the previous slide, Lindsay said that everybody who works at your center should have a contract. That even includes a volunteer, right, Lindsay? So, and if you have a volunteer working in your ECD center, there should be a contract that says you are volunteering, you are working for me for free. These are this is what we have agreed to. Otherwise, you essentially also could have a you said, I said scenario.
Yeah. And I think that is very important. And sometimes we feel that, it's just a volunteer, I'm just going to take them, I'm not going to interview, I'm not really going to find out what they, where they're going, do they, will they fit in with my vision? And so just be very clear. I mean, I've had some young students who just weren't the right fit, and it can cause so much issues with the rest of your staff, you know.
Yes.
And you need that team to be able to feel okay and safe, to be able to climb that mountain.
Yes, yes, exactly. So it's hard work climbing this mountain, and everybody's got to carry their weight. So this comes back to, it was the second thing that people said they want is a positive and supportive culture. So if you bring in the wrong people, they can really break that culture down. Anne also says that you've got to cover all the bases. That's why contracts are so important. Even volunteers should have contracts and a police clearance. Thanks, Anne. Oh, Estrelita smiles. She has a very interesting point here. She's touching on a big topic. She says sometimes ECDs don't have the funds to pay the minimum wage. So signing a contract puts you into big trouble. Is there another way? Probably not. But she says volunteer work also doesn't work, because then some volunteers sometimes want to choose, they want to be the boss, essentially. They want to choose what they want to do and when. And so we're saying, even if you're volunteering, you as the ECD center owner are still the boss. But if you don't have the money to pay the minimum wage, you've got to ask yourself about your financial sustainability of your center and whether you are in a place to recruit more people. But maybe Lindsay or Ati, you have a comment on that. I don't know, it's
I
all
think that
connected,
you've said
and
it.
it's all
I think
connected, you
I
know.
think it is definitely all connected. Looking at your feasibility, looking at the fact that paying the basic minimum wage is also going to keep your teachers. You know, so if you're going to be paying 1,000, 2,000 rand, they're going to be looking for some other place. So they're not going to be loyal to you. If you know, so they will feel, oh, well, I'm just going to go where they can pay me more. So I would rather have one good solid teacher than have a whole lot that I'm paying too little for, you know.
Yeah. So maybe let's talk about the quantities of teachers and staff that we should have. There are staff to learner ratios, and there's different ratios depending on whether you want to be registered bronze, silver, or gold. And this should give people some guidelines as well, right? If they maybe have too many staff or too little.
Yes, indeed. So it is, bronze is the minimum, as in it's always ideal to be able to have an assistant teacher as well. So you look at even 1 month to 18 months, 6 children, 6 toddlers running around crazy, 6 nappies to be changed, you know. So to even have an assistant, or to have an assistant who you're sharing with different classes, would be really nice. So
Yes.
so this is the basic minimum, and then there's your
gold. Yeah. So for gold registration standards, you need 1 staff member for every 10 3 to 4 year old learners.
And that, when they say that it's like staff, it can be that you have an assistant in the class as well, and then that is just as a staff member, whether they're a teacher or assistant teacher.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good to know. That's really good to know. Thanks. Yes, someone is asking whether we will be sharing these slides. Yes, we will definitely share the slides afterwards. All right. So, Lindsay, thank you. You've given us some really good points to think about in terms of getting the right people onto this team to climb the mountain. I know if I'm climbing a dangerous mountain, a high mountain top, I want the right people with me. So now that we've recruited the right people, we need a map. How are we going to get there? What are the guidelines? What are the rules? Are we running to this mountaintop? Are we walking? Are we leaving people behind? So Ati is going to chat to us a little bit more about managing people, which is almost like giving them the map to say, this is the road we are taking. So Ati, when it comes to managing the team, what have you learned?
So, you know, as a young person, I've told myself that I'm going to try to, you know, recruit your younger people where they are energetic and they are more willing to work. You know, some young people, they won't be willing to, especially in an ECD center. So, you know, when it comes to managing your team as the principal now, so you need to make sure that whatever problem arises at your center, you deal with them, or you try to solve them immediately. Don't wait till tomorrow where there will be another problem and now you are faced with all these problems that you can no longer fix all at once. And then also allow everyone, allow everyone, when you are having your meetings, or have meetings, firstly, have your staff meetings weekly, or maybe twice a month. I would maybe suggest for those who don't have time, because it gets quite hectic in the ECD sector. So have your meetings, and also encourage teachers to, you know, voice out whatever they would like to maybe discuss with you. Don't make them scared whenever you guys are having the staff meetings. Try to also, you know, make them feel confident in what they have to say. Don't maybe always say, oh no, that doesn't matter. Everything that the staff member says matters. And also try to build or have a very comfortable and healthy working environment for the staff. Not to always, you know, when the teacher is maybe doing something, to make them feel like they are always in the wrong. So try to always, you know, motivate them to be, you know, encourage them to do the best that they can. And then also allow everyone
Ati,
sorry?
Ati, do you mean, so I guess as sometimes as managers, we know it's our job to show people how to do their job better. But at the same time, we must also tell them when they're doing their job well, and we must encourage them. So not just criticize, but also build them up.
Yes, you know, all the time, and try to always, in a professional way though, try to always at least encourage them in a very professional way to tell them, okay, this was good. And, you know, yeah, I think that's it. Yes. And then also, yes, and then the communication. Wow, that is one of the most important ones, because, you know, sometimes if one teacher is maybe late, they would not communicate. If they're going to be absent, they still don't communicate. So what do you do then as the principal? Encourage them. So when you, or talk to them about it, that will also be in the staff contract. So it will be there that when you are late, you're going to communicate. When you are going to be absent, you communicate. Yeah.
Awesome. I wonder if in my excitement for this topic, I skipped one or two crucial top tips that we wanted to share with you. When Lindsay was talking about recruitment and staff contracts, some of you are thinking, oh, I've got to Google a contract tonight. Please don't go and Google a contract. In the Grow Giraffe app, we have plenty of free downloads and templates, editable templates that you can download and use. So there are job descriptions, right, Lindsay? Job descriptions.
Yes. Job descriptions from a cook to a principal to a teacher. Yeah, it's all
Yeah,
there.
and there are templates of contracts for employment. All of those things are on the app. Please, you're welcome to get those from the app. And Ati, I see here on this page, I wanted to remind people that there are also other downloads in the app that can help you with the management side, like your duty roster, a leave application form. Hopefully you never need it, but if you need a warning letter, you can download a template there. There's a code of conduct and a salary receipts template. Another great thing I think in the app is being able to track staff attendance for record keeping purposes. So if you get to a point where you have to discuss, for example, leave, you have a clear record of when people attended or didn't attend. Ati, do you find that that's helpful for you as well?
Sorry, it definitely is helpful, because I mean, you have the records right on your phone. You don't have to go look at where or when the teacher was absent. And so there is a section where you are actually able to select for why the teacher was was absent that day. So
yes,
yeah.
Okay, and then Anne, I'm loving your comments here, but can I just share a funny one? Martelli Bosman, thank you. She's asking, what do you mean by encouraging in a professional way? You must share an example, Ati. You must share an example. I think I will share an example also later when we talk about feedback, but do you have an example, Ati?
So, you know, some people might think that being in an ECD is nothing serious. You need to make them understand that they are still at work, right? So there are standards that they have to meet in the ECD center, and they are not just there to sit and watch children. They are in a working space. So I think that they should understand that they are not just there to look after children, they're actually working. So they need to act in a professional way, but to also be able to accommodate children.
Patricia says that she's inherited unqualified staff from the business after the owner passed away. What do? I can almost feel your heartache through the screen. She has suggested that people go for training, but they always have an excuse. So Patricia, it's really interesting. I'm hearing you also saying that you telling them what to do. A lot of it has to do with, it has to become their problem, not your problem. Your job is that you are setting the vision, you are setting the standard, and your staff need to live up to it. Later, we're also talking about professional development and evaluating people against the professional development standards. Lindsay's going to talk, I think you're going to get some great aha moments from that. Lindsay or Ati, do you have any other advice for Patricia?
Well, just for Patricia, legally, you can actually, if you are saying going for training and you are opening it up to them and you are opening those doors, you can give a timeline, a deadline, sorry. It is legal to do that. So it has to be a clear deadline as to when they're going to get it and how they're going to do it. And if not, or if they haven't started by a certain time, then you are able to terminate. But it has, yeah.
Yeah, you have to follow. So if you read through the basic conditions of employment and the what do you call it, the performance improvement management processes, they always
jobs change and job descriptions change. That is fine. You have to go with a job description. If the person isn't terminating your employment, but it is changing, and that is legal.
I think all of us who have ever had any job will know your job never stays the same. Your job is always evolving, and it's expected from you to evolve with it. Here are just some two great examples. Sorry, go for it, Ati.
Sorry, just to agree with Lindsay. So one of the big challenges I have faced in a center is that you would have a teacher that is qualified, but then the quality of work she is maybe giving is less than the teacher who is not qualified. So then that's where you step in as a principal to encourage the teacher to have at least some qualification of ECD or early childhood care. So it's like Lindsay said, it's not wrong because the teacher might not be qualified, but the love for what she does is there. So encourage the teacher to go for some training, go for some courses for ECD.
All right, I'm looking at the time. I want to make sure we get to all the rest. I'm just going to ask my colleague Terrell, she's on the line. I see many people have got questions about minimum requirements for qualifications. We have an amazing document that you can download for free, the 7 steps to getting registered, and all the requirements, the norms and standards for ECD partial care and ECD program registration. And there are very specific guidelines in there for qualifications and everything else. So Terrell will put a link to that in the chat, and you're welcome to download that to give you, with confidence, all the requirements. All right, thanks, Terrell. Ati, a meeting agenda, you said we must not scare our teachers. What should we be doing in a meeting? Should we be doing all the talking? Just give us a little quick overview of a great meeting.
So you could, tell your teachers that we're going to have a meeting like we always do. And do you have any points or suggestions that you would like to bring into the meeting? Encourage teachers to talk. Don't always think that, okay, if they don't talk or if they say something, it's not important. And then you could ask them what worked this week, what they would like to change. I always ask my staff, do you still prefer the class the way it is, or are there changes that you would like to make? Then we discuss that in the meeting. Or is there maybe a learner that was, I won't say not good, but was there a learner that you would like us to discuss and follow up on? So try to talk about things that are there, not talk about personal.
Are we still, sorry, I think my internet broke for a few seconds there. Yeah. Ati, you can still hear me?
Yes, I can still hear you.
Excellent, thanks. I think that's lovely. I really like what you were saying. Everybody in the meeting should have a chance to say something so that they feel this is their meeting. It's not the boss's meeting, this is our meeting as a team. And that's part of building that culture of teamwork, sharing the responsibilities and contributing. And very, very quickly, you'll see who is not a team player and who is not contributing. Now, feedback. Many people tell me they are so scared of giving feedback. None of us like to give critical or developmental feedback. It feels uncomfortable, but you know what? Feedback is a gift. If you're not giving someone feedback, you are robbing them of the opportunity to see their blind spot. I remember every single piece of feedback people have given me and how grateful I was, maybe not in the moment, but at least the next day for their feedback, and it's helped me to develop. So here is a very simple way that you can give feedback. I'm going to equip you, and tonight I want you to give some positive feedback to whoever is maybe having dinner with you or sitting with you, someone in your family. So you start with the fact, what happened? You say how you feel. What emotions did it create? You say the story. What did you tell yourself in your mind? What was the story you were telling yourself? And then finally, do. What action do I want the person to take? So facts and feeling, story and action. Let me give you a good example. Feedback is not always negative. A great way, just Anne was saying, or someone was saying, we should treat people also like children. People want to get positive feedback. So let me show you appreciation feedback. What is the fact? When you helped me with the parent evening. Fact, how did I feel? I felt so relieved and so grateful. What was the story I was telling in myself? Because it made me think that you are just as dedicated as I am to this school. So what's the action? The action is, I want to say thank you, and I want you to keep helping me. Can you imagine how your husband or your child's going to react tonight if you give them positive feedback like that? So when you took out the rubbish, I felt so relieved and so grateful, because it makes me think that you think of me as well in this house. And I just want to say thank you. You're the best. Ooh, they're going to take out that rubbish every night. Now the critical feedback. This is the tougher one. So what is the facts? No one can lie against the facts. So when you are late for work, when you are, sorry, I can't see my words there. When you are late to arrive for work, I feel so frustrated and worried, because it looks to me like you don't take your responsibilities seriously. You don't realize how it affects the rest of the team or the children at our center. So from now on, the action, the do, I want you to make a plan to be on time, and always let me know by 7 a.m. if you are going to be late. And then you hand it over to the person, and they can respond. But this is a great way to give feedback. And I think Lindsay or Ati said it, you should give feedback as soon as it happens. So if the person was late this morning, don't wait till 3 weeks later to give them this feedback. You should give them the feedback as soon as you see them. That is great management, and I promise you, you'll see changes happening in your team. Remember to give positive feedback too.
Can I please add there?
Yes.
The positive feedback, I would choose to do it in front of all the staff, just to, boost the teacher's confidence. So, but then the critical feedback, I would then rather not do it in front of the other teachers. So, when you compliment someone in public, they feel good about themselves. So I think the positive feedback, I would rather choose to do it in maybe the meeting, in the teachers' meeting.
Exactly. So acknowledge people in public, but give developmental or critical feedback in private. Okay, that's a great tip, Ati. And can I just say thank you to everybody in the chat. We're not able to get to all these questions, and I'm so grateful. Other people are replying. They're giving suggestions. Thank you. I see that, and I really appreciate it. All right, now that people have got the map, we are walking. We are heading for the top of this mountain. Every now and then, we do need to stop for a little break. We need to have a snack, maybe even a little picnic. Let's talk about growing the love for teaching and really motivating our team. Ati, what can you tell us about this idea of taking a breather and re-energizing our team?
So I believe in, I'm sure it's going to start to get boring. I believe in motivating and encouraging and building my teachers, because I mean, they are there spending the whole day. So I believe in showing some appreciation to them. Just because I am the principal doesn't mean that I cannot maybe buy them lunch for the day and say, look, guys, today don't bring any lunch. I will be providing lunch for the day, to say thank you for working so hard. We maybe did a very successful fundraiser and here we are. Let's have some lunch. And then also, again, motivate, encourage them. Your what is this, the rewards and recognition. If you could maybe have a star, or you could say that one teacher is going to be the star of the week. That's also very nice because they did something very well, or they did outdoor play very well. And then also going out for, you know, coffee as the teachers. That's also another way of showing some appreciation to your staff. I mean, someone would ask, so where should all this money come from? From you as the principal. I mean, you're not wasting the money. You are you're appreciating your teachers. So one other tip I would give for the principal, I'm not saying that it should be used, but you could fundraise for the staff outings. For example, you could say you're going to have a sports day and you ask maybe 10 or 20 rands from each child. And then with all those 10 or 20 rands, you use it for the staff outing. And that would, well, we've done it and it's been very successful. So yeah, it's very good.
I also like, Ati, how I think you told me that you also give your staff members areas of responsibility. So in many schools, it feels like all the weight is on the center owner or principal. And when you start sharing responsibilities and you tell someone, for this fundraiser or for the parent evening, you are going to be responsible for putting out the portfolios or putting up all the artwork, or you're going to be responsible for collecting the money. That builds that sense of community and shared responsibility. And it gives you a chance to give teachers who want to show that they're ready for more, to give them more responsibility. And I think that's also a great way to motivate your teacher. Not just you're a teacher, you're actually part of the team.
So yeah, it's true. I mean, I think I saw in one of the chats, one of the teachers or participants was saying that let your teachers know what is happening at your centers. And so that's another great way of, you know, involving your teachers in what's happening in your center. I mean, if maybe one teacher was the one welcoming the parents in the morning, and then the next next week it will be the other teacher. So that would also, you know, make them feel like they are part of the center.
Yes, yes. There are so many good suggestions and comments in the chat, but I want to make sure we get to the final section and we'll come back to some of these questions if there's time. I'm showing you a template of a certificate of appreciation. This costs you almost no money to prepare for your teachers to say thank you, maybe at the end of the year. So Ati's helped us to keep the team motivated. We've given them some candy and some snacks to get their energy levels up while they're climbing the mountain. Now we want to make sure we are the best mountain climbers possible. We're professional. We have the right gear. We have the right shoes. We have the right equipment. And now it's all about growing our team members and professional development. Lindsay, let's talk about professional development, please.
So I found this tool to be one of the most useful tools in my business. It has changed the way I'm able to engage with the staff. So, you know, when we chat to people, one of the greatest challenges people will say is, my staff, I don't know what to do with them, you know? And so how we are able to determine that is that there is a tool, okay? Where am I now? Oh, so what we've created is a tool that is not mine. It's not subjective. It's not the way I feel about what a good teacher is. But it's actually a universal best practice tool. So part of what it is that it covers a whole lot of very, very important areas. It's your professional expectations. planning and preparation, the physical environment, the classroom environment, and the curriculum implementation. So, response to feedback and mentoring is just one of the most, it's important to have a teacher who is open to it. And so, so these are some of the professional expectations and how we do it. So this is what I love. This, for me, changed a lot of things. So what it is that the teacher does a self-assessment. The tool, we give it to the teacher. She takes a look at what is a really good teacher. And for some of them, it's going to be the first time that they're actually looking at what is a really good teacher. And so they assess themselves. The principal assesses the teacher as well. And then you meet together. It's a one-on-one meeting to review and compare the results. And that's where you highlight the strengths, discuss the development areas, and you look to the future. And from there, the teacher with you, they're able to develop their own professional plan. Where am I going? What do I need? What kind of training do I need? And then the cycle continues. And I love the cycle. The principal gives continuous appreciation and constructive feedback throughout the year. And the next year, again, or in 6 months' time, the teacher does a self-assessment and the principal assesses the teacher.
Excellent. Yes. So, Ashley's already asking, where do we get this self-assessment template? So Ashley, what we've done is we've built the self-assessment into your app. You can also download a PDF document if you want to print out something so that you can know and prepare. You have this on your Giraffe app as the center owner, and the teacher also has it on her app, because both of you want to do this assessment, right? And then compare your results so that it's not just, oh, my boss said this. It's also her reflecting on her own development. So under My Staff, you go to Assess Teacher, and then there's lots of different tools there. You can view the assessment rubric in advance if you want. But if you go to Run Assessment, you choose your teacher, and it will open up all the different questions for each of those professional development areas. Okay. So, for example, my teacher here is called John Deere, and I say, is his response to feedback and mentoring excellent, proficient, needs improvement, or not satisfactory? And I can add comments as well. This is exactly like making your observations when assessing your learners. And at the end, you get a score for each of the professional development areas, and you can also share the results with each other. And now you're not having an emotional discussion about whether I like you or not. Having a development discussion on the best practice principles of what's expected from an ECD teacher. And I think many of the people who've mentioned that they have unqualified staff or staff who don't want to change, staff who are dragging their feet, this is a great place to take the emotion out of it. Let's not take the emotion out of it and just consider the professional expectations. And once you've done that, you could then go on to creating that professional development plan that Lindsay's mentioned. And here, for example, the teachers filled in that they want to do some online courses and in-house training or whatever it might be. We do have quite a few nice online courses available to teachers, and perhaps this could be part of their development plan that you decide with them. The one course is, so there's Me and My Money, your personal finances, teacher assessment, learner assessment, the Grow Teacher Development Program, understanding the NCF, business ethics. The one that I think many people really enjoy is the Teacher Development Program. Lindsay, would you tell us about that one specifically?
This is a really, really lovely tool. So a lot of teachers use it. I mean, a lot of principals, owners use this particular module as there's an incentive. So part of your development is that you've got to go on the app and you've got to be able to go through each of these lovely modules. And at the end of it, of course, you get a certificate of course completion, and there could be an incentive. You you can decide. Or it could just be that this is part of what every teacher has to do at your center. But all of the modules, they are videos, they are little, it's very interactive and lots of fun, filled with songs and nice colored pictures, colorful pictures. We like that. So,
so it's not boring old theory. It's things that you can go and apply in your classroom on the next day.
And you can do it at your own time,
And data free as well.
Yes.
So this is a great one. Maybe you then offer to print the certificate of completion for your teacher, and you could even put that up at your center to show parents. So obviously this is not a qualification. You're not getting your ECD qualification in this way, but it's part of your continuous professional development. A great way to keep sharpening the saw. So if you are wondering, oh, I think I need a little bit more help figuring out how to manage professional expectations and teacher evaluation, you can also do the teacher evaluation course for free on the Grow app. Remember, you need a little bit of data to log in. Once you're logged in, the whole course is data free, and I'll walk through all the details with you. And for those of you who are asking about the assessment criteria, this is what that form essentially looks like. And it very nicely explains what does excellent, proficient, need improvement, and unsatisfactory look like for each of the areas. Great tool, Lindsay. Wow, I'm loving it.
I know, and I love that rubric on the previous slide, because it explains to you what does it mean to be excellent? What does it mean to be unsatisfactory? And in that way, you are able to score, but yeah, to be able to say, okay, well, you fit in here or you fit in there. And, and what has been nice is that as I'm going through it with the staff, after I've assessed and she's assessed, we will sit together, and she may have scored herself as needs improvement. And I could say, I actually think that you're quite proficient in it because of, and I look at the rubric, I look at what the rubric says, and that guides me, not just what I feel is a good way to have a relationship with staff. It is there's a rubric to follow and to guide me.
Okay, brilliant. Terrell, could you also please in the chat put the help desk details? So if you are sitting on your phone, you're a bit confused, where on the app do I find the course? Where do I find this rubric? Our app help desk is available during office hours. You can WhatsApp, you can call us, or you can email us, and the app help desk will be there to help you find whatever you are looking for. If you've lost your password, you can reset your password. If you struggle, let us know. So just to summarize, I think it's been really great to see that we can have development conversations against professional development standards, and we can involve our teachers from the start. Nothing worse than hearing, oh, I've assessed you and I've decided this is how you score. No, involve me from the start and make me feel that this is part of my process. And then you can really encourage goal setting, and you allow your teachers to pursue professional development opportunities and celebrate strengths, not just looking at what's your weaknesses. So in the last few minutes, I'm going to just summarize briefly how can Grow help you. Grow, we're in the business of ECD. ECD as a business, we're all about helping you run your preschool like a business. And the reason we think that it's important to use business principles in ECD is because early learning is a crucial service that you're providing to your community. But you can only keep doing that if you're able to afford good teachers, buy good quality food so kids have nutritious meals, invest in the right educational equipment, maintain your classrooms. All of that requires money. So we're not in the business of let's make as much profit as possible, but you need money to be able to run a sustainable ECD center that can keep giving back quality education. So we like to equip you, we like to connect you with the skills and the support you need to run your preschool professionally and provide 5-star early learning. For those of you who are interested in the app, it's a free one-stop shop, and I'm so sorry that it's not available on iPhone or laptops yet. We are still working on it and we hope to have it available soon. But if you have an Android tablet or phone, you can download the app for free. It helps you with your admin, your assessments, learner assessments as well, financial tracking, your income and expenses, bookkeeping things, all your tools, access to policies, procedures and downloads, your school calendar and events, and access to a great range of training. All data, the training is data free. So the app uses about as much data as your WhatsApp would. It's not like Facebook or something like that needs a lot of data. And as the center owner, you have the Giraffe app. Your teachers would have the Meerkat app, and your parents would have the Lion app. You are the giraffe, you have the tall neck, you see everything in your business. Your teachers can only see the learners that are allocated to her class. She can't see things like financial information, personal information of anybody else, only the learners in her class, so that she can do daily registers and learner assessment. And then parents can only see their own child, and you can decide what the parent can see, for example, whether they've paid fees, their child's assessment results, and their attendance record. Yes, I think that's it. So these are the apps. Reach out to us if you're interested in how it can help you even more. I'd love to show you one final thing before we close. I see some people are really asking about money management, financial management, managing their staff, running their preschool like a business. I can highly recommend that if you're based in Cape Town, the Midrand area, or in Durban, that you join our ECD Small Business Accelerator program. This is we've designed a program specifically to help ECD center owners learn how to run their preschool like a business and equip you with some of the skills and tools you need. It's a 6-module program, so 6 days, but not 6 days in a row. So imagine you're coming every Friday or you're coming every Saturday. You choose whether you like a Friday or a Saturday. You come for 6 sessions, and this course is worth more than 2,500 Rand. We only charge 600 Rand to make it really available to you. That includes all your notes, all your printouts, lunch. So really amazing facilitators, professional facilitators. And this is something that's great for you if you can join us in person. If you can't join us in person, maybe you're in a different province. Remember, a lot of these, the online training is available to you already for free. So you can go and do the Me and My Money course online. Amazing course. You can do the course on budgeting. You can go through the course on how to get your center registered. There's a marketing course. There's a fundraising course. There are really great online courses that I recommend you do through the app if you're not able to join us in person. So I think we are out of time. Let me see. 4 o'clock exactly. We have had an amazing session, Lindsay and Ati. I can't thank you enough. I always learn so much when I chat to you. Thank you very, very much. Let me just see if there's any final questions. Ati, what would be your final thoughts to motivate us as we end off the session?
No, you see, going around to the centers, the different centers, I think one thing that I'm sure also other principals are having, or one other challenge that they are having, is the usage of cell phones. You know, there is in the policies and documents on the Grow app, there is a cell phone policy. So you could maybe have suggestion, you could have a basket and then have the cell phone policy document right above the basket, and that's where the teachers will then put their phones there, just to remind them that, okay, you are not allowed to use your phone during working hours. And then when it's time to record your attendance, that's when you use your phone, or when there's an emergency, that's when you use your phone. So I think that is one tip I would give for principals before we just close off.
Excellent. Lovely management tip there to make cell phones make the technology accessible, but not all the time in our hands, in our classrooms. Thank you. And Lindsay, from you.
For me, I think I was reminded again, as we were doing this, is I need to know my vision. I need to be clear about it, and then to be able to share it with the team. For me, I find that that is important. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, thank you very much, everyone. I think that we want to see you having amazing success in your centers, your children thriving, getting ready for their lives, their potential flourishing. And we know you can only do that with good people on your team. So we really pray for you, we support you, and we back you. We send you energy to be able to take on this task of leadership and management, and we wish you only success for the future, and we'll see you at the next webinar. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Yeah.